All right.
Hi.
So, hi, Wanton Wallflowers. I'm super excited to be here with you tonight. Um, it's Nikki here, and we have with us the amazing ladies of the Busty Bodice Author Collab. So I'm super excited to have them. You can ask questions for them in the comments. Hopefully, I can see them in the comments. I have my phone here with me, and I have my husband helping me out here. So as long as I can see your comments, I'm going to get those to the ladies so they can answer them for you. And if you're watching tonight, what I'd like you to do is just say, I was here watching, put it in the comments for me because we have a prize package for someone who is participating, for watching, and for asking questions, anything, any kind of interaction. You're going to be eligible to win our amazing prize package, which is going to include an ebook for each of these great ladies. So to start off with, I'm going to introduce them to you. So first up, we have Eliana Pierce. And Eliana has been telling stories since she was 5, first in song, now in swoony romances. Inspired by her favorite authors, she writes heartfelt, spark-filled, often humorous love stories about deep connection and happily ever afters. When she's not writing, she's doing crafts and music in Canada, while she's sipping iced cappuccinos and dreaming up her next irresistible romance. So thank you, Eliana, for being with us.
Thanks for having me, Nikki.
Did you see? Are we live?
I don't know.
Has,
Yeah,
can anyone see if we're live? Or we're
I did. We're live.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Technical difficulties here. So, next up we have Kathy Maxwell, and I've just met Kathy working on this with her. She's super helpful, awesome. So I'm so excited to have her. And Kathy is a best-selling author of over 40 historical romances filled with love, laughter, and unforgettable characters. She's a New York Times and USA Today favorite. She's earned awards, lifelong friendships, and plenty of joy along the way writing. So thank you, Kathy, for being here.
Thank you
And
for
then
having me. Thank you.
next we have Tracy Sumner, and Tracy's one of my good friends, so I'm super excited to have her here with us. She's a USA Today bestselling author who fell in love with historical romance on a beach trip and never looked back. She's award-winning, known for witty, steamy stories. She writes bold heroines and irresistible heroes. When she's not writing, she enjoys snowboarding, football, yoga, and life as a Southern girl in New York. So hi, Tracy. Thanks for being here.
Hey guys.
Next up, we have Annabelle Anders. Annabelle traded her day job for Dukes in 2017 and never looked back. Now the author of 40 plus Regency romances, including a Rita-nominated favorite, she writes from her Colorado home alongside her husband and mischievous dash hounds, happily creating heartfelt stories and living her dream life. And a little while ago, we saw one of her little puppies. So maybe we might, if you keep your eyes open, you might get to see another one of her puppies. So thanks for joining us, Annabelle.
Hey, that's cool.
And we have Kathleen Ayers, another one of my friends. Kathy writes with me Tuesday mornings. Super fun. Kathleen has been a hopeless romantic since discovering historical romance as a teen, and she hasn't looked back. She adores witty, slightly damaged heroes, on paper, of course. Like, don't we all? On paper, they're fine. In real life, we like those.
Yeah, blood over in real life too, but that's
We like the guys who can come in and fix our tech problems, which my husband was just in here doing for me. When not writing or reading love stories, she's in Houston with her husband, college-age son, and 2 very spoiled dogs. And last but not least, we have the amazing Jana McGregor. Jana grew up in Missouri and fell in love with romance thanks to her mother. She writes stories where strong heroines meet their perfect match. She's a mom of triplets, and she lives in Kansas City with her dashing rogue of a husband and their smug but lovable pug. So hi, Jana.
Hi, I'm delighted to be here. And I know all the other ladies are delighted to be here as well.
All right, thank you so much. So we are going to get started today. First off, I have some interview questions, and then later on, I'm going to take some questions from the comments from anyone who's watching. So first up, I think author collabs are so exciting. And that one of the reasons that I reached out to these ladies and invited them to come in and talk to us is that I love the idea of the busty bodice and the curvy heroine. So that kind of really appeals to me, and I think it does a lot of ladies right now. So first up, Eliana, I have a question for you. I think that you got all of these ladies together, so I was wondering what inspired this particular author collaboration.
That is a great question. Um, to be honest, I knew that after a couple of years of writing in historical romance, which is not a lot, I knew that I wanted to write with some authors that I really admired and looked up to who had been doing this for a while that I could learn from. And I felt like it would be a great position for me to be on the bottom of the totem pole and find authors who were just like super stellar that I could learn from and that we could make something awesome together. So that was honestly a huge part of this. The idea of the curvy heroine, like the plus size heroine, was the second part of it. I felt like that was just a really relatable message that if I don't know, like women struggle a lot with body image at different times in life for different reasons. And if we can just promote this message that's like, it doesn't matter what your body type is, it's beautiful. And kind of early on, we had this like motto almost. Sexy isn't a body type, it's an energy, or sexy isn't a body type, it's a vibe. And that's really what we wanted to have come across to this series. At the beginning, we talked about too, like, does the woman have to be confident right off the bat, or is she shy? Is she struggling with her weight? And we said all the authors can decide for themselves because we wanted to represent like all of that. There's some women that embrace their body and they have this confidence that like other women admire, and there's some women that really struggle and then they somehow find confidence. And so we just wanted to have this really positive message around body.
I love that. That is awesome.
I have to apologize. I can't get my reaction thing to stop. I hope I didn't throw you off, Eliana, when I'm no, yes, heart. And
I thought you were doing.
that yes means nothing. It means nothing.
You were just being ornery.
Yeah.
I actually saw some little hearts going across.
I don't even know how to do that.
I was really happy.
That's it, Tracy. Rub it
Yeah,
in.
I
Rub
can
it
see.
in.
They're
I
great.
don't know how to get rid of it. So, I mean, yes.
Eliana.
Oh, I just found mine. Oh,
Confirming the message.
Yes.
There you go, Kathleen.
Kathleen.
Everything you said was wonderful, Eliana.
Yeah.
Very well. Very well said.
And then the busty bodice, like how specifically did the bodice come in? Like what was there a specific reason that was what you chose and why that came in?
The busty bodice, like the name of it, you mean? Or
Yeah.
I mean, I like alliterations, so I was kind of looking for that. And then
Don't be busty boobs, right?
right.
I was trying to keep it historical, classy.
Yeah.
Very classy.
I mean, I love it. It's a great title. It's definitely appealing and it definitely makes me want to read them, definitely.
Good.
Definitely. I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. That's a neat idea.
Yeah.
So my next question is for Annabelle. Annabelle, what do you enjoy about multi-author series? Because I think you've done a few of them now.
I wasn't going to do very many more. And then Tracy Sumner, she emailed me about this one. And I was like, Kathy Maxwell's in this. And then I'd been really curious because Eliana had been doing some great marketing stuff that I was like, oh, I could learn from her. And then Kathleen is in another group I'm in and her books kill it. And everybody. And I was just like, oh, I've got to do this one. But because I've been trying to cut back just because, you get overwhelmed, you kind of take on too much. But this one, I don't know, it was the group of authors that just definitely, that makes a huge difference. And I had learned, as an author that, you do want to do it you want to do these collaborations with different authors than you've done. And this was a group of people, that just kind of came from everywhere. So it just seemed like it just came along at the right time, the right concept, the right people. And that's a huge part because it's a lot of work and you can put a lot of time into a book. And if it's not, something that is got all the right pieces, you only have so much time to write books. So So that's what, this one really pulled me in for that. So
Awesome. Wonderful. Does anyone else have anything to add to that about what you really like about doing multi-author collabs?
I like working as a team,
Mhm.
right? Because in my previous life, it was all team-oriented type things. So I love working and collaborating with different people and hearing different opinions and viewpoints. And we really brought it all together. Thanks to Ileana's organizational skills, I just would like to add that and be very firm about it.
Oh, yeah.
Could organize a herd of cats. That's all
Oh,
I'm.
we
Oh,
could have
she's
gone
been
off the
amazing.
rails.
Yeah.
Could have gone
Amazing.
off the rails. This is my first collaboration.
Well, okay.
And I really
Wow.
enjoyed it. And I didn't know many of these. I knew Tracy she had published with my publisher before in the past, and I recognized some of the names and everything. But it's been a joy to work with everyone. Everybody is collaborative. Everybody is positive. Still, no one has told me how to get that yes off of my screen up there, but
Oh, no.
so you can
Wow.
tell I am
Oh.
the tech whiz of the group. But the nice thing is that when I've had a question, someone has come through, they've answered. It's been the easiest thing in the world to do. Tracy and I have had because we have twins in the books, and so we've had a couple of conversations to share. And this is how friendships are made.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I know that a lot of times romance writers, there's that stereotype that we're at each other's throats or whatever, or we're catty. Nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, we are all it's like a sisterhood. People want the best for everybody. So this has just been a joy. So thank you, Ileana, for inviting me on board.
That's one. And Kathy, is this your first self-published book?
This is my first, yes.
Because I think that was a question that Catherine Grant had
Oh.
for you.
Yes.
And she said, did that change being an indie author, did that change your creative process at all?
Oh my gosh, yes, it's so exciting. It really is a lot of fun. I mean, it really is fun. And I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, okay, now, how can I have taken this to the traditional side? But it's almost like being a little pirate, a little book pirate, and I get to do what I want, and it's so much fun.
Uh-huh. I love that.
Did you like my book pirate?
Yeah, I did. I loved it. So, my next question.
Sorry, Nikki, can I just add something?
Yes, absolutely.
This has been a joy to work with this group of authors. And I also want to shout out to Tracy, who was super invaluable for recruiting. She brought half the team here. And so
I am a good recruiter. I don't know why.
You are.
Yeah.
I'm the introverted recruiter, but yeah. I know Kathleen goes along with I'm like, I am her all the time. And I'm like, hey, this is what we're doing next.
I told my assistant my PA the other day, she asked me, she said, are you doing this? And I said, let me check with Tracy. If she told me to do it, I'm doing it. So that's kind of like our joke.
This is the power of indie, right? Or the power of, if we want to call it indie. I was started trad, yes, and but it was so different then and so long ago. It feels like Kathy and I have talked about it. The world, I just can't even, sometimes I'm speechless how different it was to what it is now. But I think part of the reason that independent authors and self-published whatever are flourishing, if you look at the larger numbers on the bestseller lists and percentage of books published on Kindle and Amazon, whatever, or wide too, but is because of this collaborative spirit. This is something that maybe was missing. I mean, you guys, I know Kathy and Jana, you guys were definitely in some of those sets they would put us in. Like one of my first ones was Kensington. It was like this little Christmas thing. But instead of bringing us with the other authors, there wasn't any of that. Like we were still in a set together, but the publisher didn't bring you together. This is just the way that we do it, I think, is much more like we would make friends at RWA and go to conferences and you'd have things, but this is definitely a closer touch, so, and it's
Yeah.
good.
I always say, I was a high school teacher. I retired a few years ago. I was 30 years a high school teacher. So I was really social in my career. And then I got to be a writer, which was my dream. I got to, be a full-time writer. And keeping the writing social has been very important for me,
Huge.
not being isolated, because I think writing can be so isolating. So I think having my writer friends that I sprint with, each day I have a group of friends, and then the Wanton Wallflowers with, the ladies I do, the writers I do. And so I do see how important the social aspect of being a writer is for me. And I imagine that's true for all of you if you're in a collaboration, that even if we're a little bit introverted at times,
Well,
that
I would have to say that ever since I started writing in historical romance, I have never really found anyone who wasn't willing to help me or at least lead me to who I need help. It's so different than any job I'd ever had. And it's like instead of blocking each other, we like help each other. And that I've never found that anywhere else. And I I know it's kind I've had some friends outside of historical, and I know it's not the same when you get out of historical. Maybe it's just this little kind of niche here, but amazing. It's one of the reasons that I love doing this.
yes, I agree with that for sure.
Well, most people are in historical because it's passion, I think. And I'm not saying that doesn't flow over into other genres, but this one to me is the bedrock of romance. So it's the start. And most people are in it because they started reading it. They read their mom's books or they read books. And I think sometimes it's a little different maybe in other subgenres. I don't know, but I think there's a lot of passion for the books before us that makes a difference. I don't know.
I have a question for you, Jana. So, um, one of the things that I'm curious about is that I have heard such cool things about um, the book that you guys wrote together, the story that you wrote together. So to kind of promote the series, your prequel. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, obviously, of course, it was Ileana's idea, and we all got our marching orders, right? And we all followed them. No, I'm teasing, I'm teasing. But everybody took a chapter, and it was basically the order was based upon our publication dates. And since I'm last, I wrote the epilogue. So what that entailed is that I had to go back and carefully reread each chapter, and everything that somebody dangled that they didn't take care of, I had to do it in my epilogue. And then I also had to introduce then Ileana's book that was just released this week, which is now a bestseller. You guys, she's got that flag. So
Awesome.
yay.
Congratulations.
Yeah. And she definitely deserves it. But anyway, so going back to that, and that prequel was something that we wanted to share with the readers, not only to get their interest, but it was almost like a gift, for everybody. And I think it's really lovely. And we all introduced it in our newsletters, and Ileana's putting it together for publishing it. Not wide, right? We're just doing
It's
it
available
at
on
KU.
Amazon now, right?
Yeah. And then hopefully print later. So
Oh, so this isn't something on BookFunnel that people can get for free, the prequel. It's one that they'll actually get on Amazon. They can buy on Amazon.
The
yeah.
prequel will be available everywhere
Okay.
and it will be free.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So it'll be
But
free
it'll
on
be all
Amazon and on
together.
all
It'll be
platforms.
all instead of separate chapters.
It's available now. Actually, it is up
Yeah.
on Amazon now, so people
Yeah.
can read it for free now and
Is
then
it
jump
up?
right into
Okay.
Eliana's.
In total.
Amazon
Yeah.
hasn't price matched it yet though, so it's not free.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
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 Well,
Good old
yeah.
Amazon.
Yeah, and our listeners might not understand that, but if another platform has your book for free, like if you have your book for an ebook on free on Barnes and Noble,
Yeah.
then Amazon price match it. It won't make it free unless you have it free somewhere else.
Yeah.
I have that correct, right? I
Yeah,
haven't done
that's
that, but that's my understanding. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what I will do then is I will get those links for everybody want and wallflowers. I will get those links and get them put in a post, probably a separate post. I'll make sure, like after tonight, look for more information, and I will make sure to get that information to everybody.
Yeah.
And right now, am I correct, Eliana, your book is out right now, the first book, and then when does the next book?
My book comes out April 14th, next week.
Okay. All right.
And I'll pick up where Ileana left off.
And
Mhm.
so is this all one family, or is it,
Yeah.
it's all one
Yes,
family?
it is all one family. Mhm.
Sisters,
Oh.
and then the prequel is the brother, the older brother.
Oh, wow. That's so interesting. I didn't realize that. I just read that a little bit earlier in my notes from Catherine. So Tracy, this question's for you. Since this is with this family, do you tie this into any of the characters from any of your other books, or are these all new characters for you in your book?
All new characters. I did not. I mean, I guess I could have wrote some of that in, but I just sometimes it's nice to kind of have one, that you're not trying to hook somebody in. And the timing was a little bit earlier than some of my other stuff because I'm actually more officially Georgian and or some even pushing into Victorian. So I did not. And we balancing the sisters and the brother, that was enough because these are fairly, they're a little shorter.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Did anybody connect this to any of the series that they already have? Any characters to their pre-existing series?
There
I
were
did
so many
not.
characters that Eliana had
Yeah.
kind of already set out for us that it just kind of seemed natural to just leave it at that for me, actually.
Yeah.
Are all the
And
books?
there was the premise. I mean, we talked about the premise
Mhm.
where each sister is given a task from the
Mhm.
deceased father.
Oh.
So
And we're under
Yes.
30,000 words, so there's not a lot
Right.
extra
Yeah.
that you could add to this.
Yeah, well under 30, I think.
And and are they all steamy?
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're all
Yeah.
steamy. Okay. Awesome.
Yes.
3, right? 2 to 3.
How many scenes did you get?
I got him in there, but I'm like slow burn, and
Three?
so I'm like, I gotta get to this.
Yeah.
I don't think I went that. Maybe this one isn't. Yeah. It's kind of funny. Like I'm pretty steamy, but some books, for some reason, it's like they're more. And then
Yeah.
readers will say, wow, that one was, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh. And I can't quite figure that out.
Do
But
you think your
Yeah.
characters determine your steam level?
Oh yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like my characters determine it. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I have a
Everybody's
really-
different.
and
Every
so
Yeah,
time.
I have a
that's
really-
my mood that day.
yeah, true. So Eliana, here's another question for you. So I read that you're a musician. What kind of music do you do?
Oh, just singer-songwriter stuff.
Just
Oh,
singer-songwriter.
just a little
that.
dabbling.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah,
mind
yeah,
me.
Are
yeah.
you a
Cool.
singer?
what?
Are you a singer?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Are you going to sing for us right now?
Oh, definitely not.
Where do you do you perform anywhere, Eliana? Do you do
You know
like
what,
with a
I
band or karaoke or anything?
Yeah, I used to a lot more, and now I'm getting back into it, but nothing big. Nothing.
That's fun.
Yeah,
Do you
just for
feel
fun,
like
honestly.
some of your songwriting stuff has helped you as a writer?
That's an interesting question. I've never thought about that actually. Um, it almost it almost feels like the opposite in a way that now that I'm writing more, because I kind of took a break from music for a little bit, but now that I'm writing more, I feel like that inspires me to want to do more music. So there's definitely an overlap, I guess, an interplay between the two. Like they make you think and reflect on the world and then reflect on yourself. you know, your emotions and how you're processing the world. So I think they definitely have, um, yeah, they definitely play together.
Kathleen, my next question is for you because I'm obsessed with dogs. And as I was reading bios, I was reading about everybody's dogs. So what
Right.
I want to know is, does your dog help you write or keep you from writing?
Mm.
Okay, so full confession here. That bio's an old one. I sent you the wrong one. I no longer have two dogs. They went over the Rainbow Bridge last year. But neither one was helpful, if that's your question. They would rather swim or do something like that. And we recently adopted a rescue puppy. And as I'm talking to you, she's literally like eating my feet underneath the desk. So I would say that no, she is not a big help. She does not care for the laptop, and she definitely doesn't care for my phone or anything. She tries to steal things from other rooms in the house to get my attention when I'm writing. So it's kind of fun.
What kind of dog?
Well, she's a Heinz 57. Um, she has gigantic paws, and every DNA test on her says she comes from like 8 different giant breeds. But she
Okay.
is a very petite 45 pounds. We're like,
Hmm.
okay, so she's going to be a little dog with big feet. We don't, we're like, we're mystified. She looks like a
Fun.
lab, if that helps.
How old
Fun.
is she?
She is almost 8 months old,
Oh, okay.
and she's very high energy and very social. So, yeah.
Nice.
Do any of you guys have any really big men as the heroes in your books?
Oh, me all the time.
All the time. I know that's kind of a given.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Are any of your
With really
men?
big feet. We have big men with big
Yeah,
feet.
what are you
Big
measuring
feet.
here?
Big feet.
Yes,
Preface this.
yes.
Do any of you have any plus size men as your heroes?
Yes,
Yeah, that is
Really?
really,
I do.
that's awesome.
I do. I wrote a series for Dragon Blade, the Five Deadly Sins, and not only is he a virgin hero, but he is also a duke, and he's also like a just a big, like he's just a big husky guy,
Hmm.
and so he's yeah, and
Fun.
she's of course a gorgeous beauty and everything, but um, he's he learns to become a duke because of her, so he gets over all of his image issues, right,
Mhm.
and learns to be who he needs to be. So
That's
yeah.
great. Yeah, I
Hmm.
saw in one of the Histrom groups the other day, I saw a reader looking for that. And they,
Oh
and then I saw I think somebody was looking for a dad body. Are there
yeah.
anybody writing books with dad bodies? And I'm like, so another series idea, Eliana.
Yeah,
Just
dad
Yeah.
bods are I just read an article that dad bods are like the big thing right now,
The
so
Dad Bod Club. There we
yeah.
go.
Dad bods club, there you go.
Hot
Another
belly club.
series. Ileana, get that
Yeah.
outlined, Ileana, right now.
On it.
so
But we have the Busty Bodice Club, we have the corset. So what would we have for the dad bod?
Corsets.
The Duke bod.
Yeah, more corsets too.
The busting corsets, guys.
Yeah.
Joey Dukes.
The doughy dukes. Oh, that's a good one.
Yes, the
God.
Joey
There we
Dukes.
go, Nikki.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
So here is my $1 million question for you guys. So, and I'll just put it out there for all of you, whoever wants to answer it. So there's been a lot of talk, and you see on the threads that Histrom is dead, and you hear people talking about the big five publishers dropping their Histrom authors. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you think Histrom is dead?
No, I think it's evolving. And that's happened. Romance has evolved
Over and
several
over.
times.
Mhm.
And because I've been at this for 30 years. And so it just keeps evolving. It used to be Regencies were tiny little books, and then they got big. And now we're evolving and we're going online. I think the stories are going to get wilder. I think they're going to take in more different types of storytelling. And I think if anything, it's going to be a very good thing for readers and writers.
I love that.
Mhm.
Very good. Anybody have anything to add to that?
Well, I do. And this is jumping off with Kathy. I think publishing as a whole, I just don't think it's romance. I think the whole industry is going through um, an intense learning curve as to exactly where it wants to be and where it will end up in 5 years. And I'm not talking just about AI or any of this other stuff. I think readers have changed in their reading habits. And I think everybody kind of has to get together with that. And one thing is that I think indie authors are very, very good at being able to recognize that immediately and then satisfy that niche market
And
wherever
we
it
can
might be.
pivot quicker. We
Mhm.
can
Yes,
pivot more
yes.
easily.
And you see, I always compare traditional publishing to like a locomotive going down the tracks. I mean, they have got so much momentum, or what we think is momentum, but it's so hard for them to stop and change tracks unless they really, really slow down. So maybe that's where we're at with that. I saw an author today on a social media, and I mean, you could just tell that she was really in a low place because, she never got her dream of traditional publishing. And my heart just broke for her because here we are, all of us are writing this stuff independently, having a great time. And somebody's dream is kind of sitting there. And so it's like all of us need to get together and just try to lift everybody up within this historical romance market. Because I mean, there's so many of us, so
but
many
isn't
different
that
things.
old think?
Pardon?
Isn't that old think? I can
Well,
remember when I'd have, I'll ask somebody who's new to writing, and I'll say, "Well, what do you want?" And they'll say,
Mm.
"Well, I want to
oh
have a
yeah, yeah,
traditionally published
yeah,
book,"
yeah,
and
A
I'm like,
book in
yeah,
a
yeah.
"That's
in
really
Kmart or
old
whatever. Yeah.
thinking
But
now."
you know what though, Kathy? I think that there are some authors out there, whether they're new, middle of the road, mid-list, or people that are just killing it. They want that trad contract, which is, you know,
I'll tell you what's so hard about it. And I have a couple of friends who are killing it with Andy. But the thing is, when we start writing, we think we'd love to walk into a bookstore and see our books.
yeah, yeah.
And
Mhm.
as an indie author, I've made the kind of concession at this point that I don't know when that's going to happen. I'm going to have to really turn some tricks to make that happen.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but I've been making a living since 2018, but I have never had one of my books pop up in Barnes and Noble. And, I think part of that is my own, we have to do all these different things as an author, and you're publishing, you're doing translations, you're doing audiobooks. And I know there's some things that you can do, but that's part of the dream though. And that's kind of the thing
Mm.
that's kind of hard. There's a lot of great things about publishing independently, but I think that is one of the things that causes a lot of us it motivates a lot of us in the beginning.
Yeah.
When you have that, though, when you have that mid-list status, I can tell you that's a very tough place to be.
Mm.
And there are great things about it. And yes, there were things like that. The books here, the books there. And my dad was still alive, and he used to go to signings with me. And this was many years ago. And we did that, the Barnes and Noble stuff. And that was really cool. But it was also really tough. And for a young writer who I'm telling you, being thrust into that world was just, and there's a lot, I think, that writers that want that trad contract are going to be expecting that will not be there. And there'll be a lot of those great things. They'll have that book in print and they'll be able, that is one place that I think still for me, I feel like I've done so much that I know how to do so much, but the print and distribution is still tough. That is a place where I still think trad's got it, and that piece you get, but a lot of the rest, I'm telling you, it's just it's tough. The promo,
Mhm.
the marketing, it is
Yeah,
on us.
yeah.
It was
Seems
still
like
even
you're
back in
doing
the
it
Yeah.
day.
all anyway,
Right,
regardless.
right.
So
But
Yeah,
I
and
think we
having
have I think we have one thing that a lot of genres don't, and that's the plethora of all these romance bookstores that are opening up, and they are so much more open to having indie authors' books on their shelves and promoting local authors and doing everything. I read, I think it was on Substack last week, where the growth was like over 400% on the number of romance only
Yes.
bookstores in the
And we
United
have the
States.
readers. We have the
Mm.
readers
Yeah,
who will follow us anywhere.
Right.
Bless
just
their
have to
hearts and
hustle to
bless,
get our
I mean,
books
what
in
a
'em.
gift. What a gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're looking for a good story. That's all they want. They
Yeah.
want a good story. Tell me where I can go find it and get out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
they
we
even want the short stories. Somebody told me that it was a person who works with Podium, and he had spent 16 years at Simon and Schuster, and then went over to Podium, and they bought whatever, acquired 3 of these novellas of mine that were just like, came from 3 sets, literally like this, that I managed to, once I started getting used to doing sets, that I hooked the brothers together, and then eventually pulled them out, put them in. It was just a fluke. But he said that even a year before this, which was recent, that they would have never acquired novellas for, audio. But he said that people want to read like picking up their kid, like a full book, or
Yeah.
these really. So I think even the short form is having a moment.
It is. It is.
And publishing is seeing that.
And I'm buying them. And I am
Yeah.
buying the short ones. I am interested in the author, not the
Yeah.
length of the book. I
Right.
want the author. I want the
Yeah.
voice. I want the voice.
Yeah.
Me too. I always want the voice, always,
Yeah. Yeah.
we
because
have
I'm
a
a reader
question
first.
here from one of our audience people. What?
Nikki,
Yes.
sorry, just one last comment on that. When
Yes.
we got together, we asked that question too that you're asking us about historical romance dying and or fading out or whatever. And that was why one of our like mottos that we were promoting was historical romance is thick and thriving.
Yeah.
Because we said that's
Oh,
our
yeah.
characters are thick, historical romance is thriving, let's go.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I've been thinking too. I was thinking the other day, like, how do we get our books to a younger audience, like to the 20-something girls? Like, how do we get them hooked? And I was thinking the other day, what can we do? Like, what as a community of Histrom authors can we do to reach out to these girls in their 20s and say, hey,
My
I
only
don't know.
thought on that is that so many young people, they're used to having these subscriptions. We have all this stuff, on Netflix and everything. You don't own anything. And some of these younger people, they just really want to own the books. And I have seen this at signings. It can be a book that they've never heard of, author they've never heard of, a genre they don't read, but if it's a pretty book, they will buy it.
Yeah.
And I think that if more and more, as more and more Regency historical authors start doing stuff like that, kind of to appeal to them, I actually think that might be an end to them, because they're just very, I think the younger people, they want to own something, they want it to be special, they want it to be art,
Yes.
they want it to feel real. And it's funny because our older audience is like downsizing and they don't want to have the books
Yes.
around.
Right.
So we've kind of got this little hump to get over, I think.
Yeah. Well, and
Give
my
me books.
daughter's 23. She's a reader, and her friends are readers. And she only has one friend that reads Histrom. The rest of her friends read like, just pop, whatever's out, Um, but they love to own the books. And that's their thing, like for the night out. They go to the bookstore and they sit around and they read their books. But they definitely, and my daughter definitely like I have a book collection. In my house, my book is loaded with books. My house is a mess with books. But the last 6 or 7 years, I just want an ebook. Like, don't give me anything else. But yeah, I think you're right on. These young girls do really like to hold a book. And I was a high school teacher, and I used to make all of my students carry a book around with them. So we would go to the library, and the library, that was a big thing. I'd take them to the library every month and we'd have coffee, and the librarian would get us coffee and hot chocolate, and I'd take treats. And then everybody pick out a book. And whether they'd read it or not, I don't know. But I made them carry it with them. Like, I'd be like, do you have your book with you today? Okay, you get your points.
You're never bored if you're a reader. You're never bored if you have a book.
Yeah, and it was because the kids would eventually read those books, and it was a big deal for them to carry that book around. They really liked that. So,
And it's the young people who are going to like the Bridgerton teas
Mhm.
and these events like this. They're showing
Ooh.
up for events. Yes.
Yeah.
yes, we were talking
Someone
about
needs to bring back the historical romance retreat at some point. I don't know if any of you ever went to it. That was just such an amazing event. But it could be done every couple of years. They were doing it every year and it was a bit much, but talk about just immersing yourself in the Regency world or we did the tea, the gambling night, the ball. It was just,
Oh, yeah.
it was like a dream when I first went to those. So
Oh,
somebody needs to do that out there.
maybe Caroline Lee might do it if we all bug her.
Yeah, I was
talking
supposed
about
to
it.
go to one. Annabelle, wasn't that the one where you could rent the gown? Like they
Oh
had the
yeah, you
gown
could
rental,
rent
but
gowns.
then it
They
was
did your hair.
COVID.
They
COVID
had
totally
Oh.
they had
messed
hair
that up.
people, they had
Yeah.
makeup people.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yes, that
scheduled
was
it. They
it.
dressed you. It was
Oh, and a photographer
Yeah,
to
I
make
had
sure you got
rented the
your
gown
picture
and
taken.
everything, and then COVID totally messed it up. Yeah.
it broke the bank a little bit, but man, are those some great memories. And then we got to take our picture with the cover models,
Yes.
that were on most
See
of our
those.
books. So
Seen those.
Oh, everybody getting their picture taken with old Floyd.
Floyd.
and
Everyone has had Floyd.
Antoli, I can't remember his name.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
yeah.
Everyone's had Floyd.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in
That sounds
the way it
horrible,
sounds.
Tracy.
But yes.
True.
Sorry.
I had Floyd twice.
Seriously.
I only had Floyd once myself, but
Oh.
but you're doing the pose with, like, I remember with the Antoli, I can't think of his name.
Oh,
but
he's beautiful.
I was doing the pose and it's like the almost kiss, and I'm thinking, this guy is my son's age. I'm like,
So here's a question for our audience, for you guys. What is something one of you learned from the other about writing through this collaboration process?
I learned how much fun it is to write short because these are novellas. These are novellas, so you have to get right to the heart of the matter.
Yes.
And especially reading the prequel book and seeing how quickly everyone jumped in and how they went and how hard they hit it. And I've been thinking, oh, this is it. Let's, enough of the description. Who cares about azaleas? Let's go. And that was one of the things I learned, and I loved it. I loved it.
one thing I got from this was Kathy Maxwell's enthusiasm and excitement for doing this project kind of sparked me a little, because
Yes,
I feel
I
like,
would
Thank
agree.
I would
you.
agree.
we get
I would
I will
bogged down by
totally
this
agree.
business stuff and the
Wholeheartedly.
marketing, and we kind of get bogged down by it. And Kathy came in just so excited about all of it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is fun.
Oh, I love that.
Because I'm a pirate.
Because
We're all pirates now.
There we go. Hi,
Yes.
matey.
I love that. And how do you get your positive energy, Kathy?
Oh my gosh, what a question that is. I'm just happy to be here. I mean, I can remember when I first started writing thinking if I could just finish this book.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a goal. I will finish a book. Then I got, if I could just sell a book, then I will be so happy I just sold a book. So I guess maybe it's,
Oh,
I'm originally from Kansas. We're all Pollyannas. I am so sorry. That's it.
No, I love
the land of
positivity.
Dorothy, we go for it. Yeah.
I
No,
love
it's good. It's good because I think we get overwhelmed with doing this and the self-publishing thing. You're not just a writer, you're a publisher.
You're a
You're a
business
publisher.
owner.
You're
But you're
handling every
also
piece of it.
talented. You're all so talented.
But to see you're excited about it, it's
It
really
did. It kind of pulled me
nice.
back. It was a good little reminder for me, and
Oh, good.
definitely.
That makes me, because it's an honor to work with all of you. It's been, I mean, when Ileana sat there and I thought, oh my gosh, this is organized. I'm amazed.
Yes,
This is just brilliant.
uber.
Eliana is amazing. I've never seen anyone as organized.
I know.
And she deals with all of us. We're like, what, squirrels going in different directions?
With little kids too. She has young children. That is unbelievable. I mean, my kids in senior or freshman in college, and one can barely keep it together.
I
And
do love the energy that you guys have, like the respect that you have for each other. You can see that, like how great. I'm super into bonds and like and group, morale. And so you can see that with this group, how strong the bond and the morale is. And that's really, really wonderful. Very
I also
inspiring.
I also learned from Jana, like her questions about like the story itself and the plot. Like Jana often came with questions like, well, what about this? Or how are we going to make this work? Because we all were writing in the same world, right? And she
And
just had
Jana
some
had to
really
wrap
good
it up.
questions.
Yeah.
Jen
Yeah,
is
she
a
had to
Jana
wrap
had
it
the
detail
up.
hard
person
job.
too. She is a
Yeah.
detail person. I wrote
Yeah.
one with her before she does. She gets the little details all
And it was
together.
perfect placement then for her because she's the one to do that. Like I would have missed out on those things because I'm not super detailed. I think the big picture, and Jana came up and wrapped it all up and it was really good.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Is there anything I did not ask you guys that you would like to talk about or tell readers?
No, I mean, we talked about the starter novella. Okay, that's going just to make sure they know that it will be price matched on Amazon if they're catching it, that's going to be free. I think that's important.
And then
So,
they're coming out weekly, right?
Yeah.
Eliana?
Yeah.
Weekly. So they'll be coming out pretty quickly. So you can read one and just jump onto the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And is this something, do you think that there will be like this will be an annual thing, do you see, or do you see this as a one-time thing? Or is that something
Very well.
everybody's smiling like you haven't really talked about yet?
We have to keep some secrets, Nikki.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But we'll let you know.
But the energy's too good.
Yeah.
The energy's too good to let it go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited
Well-
for this month for these releases. And it was really exciting to see Eliana's up there at
Mhm.
#1 with one of the Regency romance.
That is so exciting, and it is so hard to do. Especially right now with all the Bridgerton stuff out. Like
Oh
we
my
have to get
gosh.
above all of that stuff to get to #1.
I was looking through it today though, and the lists on Amazon are all messed up right now. I
They're
don't know what
completely messed up.
Well,
they're
not
totally
completely
messed
messed up. They got it right with Ileana's book.
Yeah,
They did get it right with
right,
Eliana.
right.
They did. Because the other ones I was looking at though, like they had like top books in Regency were ranked like 200,000 in the whole store. And I'm like, what is happening? I don't know if you
Yeah.
look at it. I was just looking at it today. Anyway, totally off the
Yeah.
subject.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what's one thing I would love to have, Nikki, do you have Robin's bio by any chance there? I know she wasn't able to
I
make
do.
the
Would you
interview.
like me
that's
to read
sweet.
it?
Yeah.
Could we read hers just to represent her?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Robin wasn't able to join us, but I think Wallflowers, she is going to come in and do a takeover, so you'll get to meet her. So Robin chose writing over stunt work and brings plenty adventure to the page. An award-winning author known for witty, sexy, and entertaining romance, she creates bold stories readers love. When not writing, she enjoys life in Texas with her professor husband and their 2 brilliant daughters under the big blue skies. So, and I think, like I said, so Wallflowers, I think some of the ladies are going to come in and do takeovers and visit with you, so you'll have a chance to visit with them then. I think we might even have Eliana in next week sometime, so you'll get to spend some time with her. Again, put in the if you're watching this later, because I know a lot of you said you'd probably have to watch later. If you're watching this later, it's okay. You're still can get prizes. Just let me know in the comments. Watch this, enjoyed it, whatever. And you can still ask questions if you weren't here tonight. You couldn't do the live and ask questions live. Go ahead and ask questions because the ladies will be checking in and can answer questions for you, or I will get the questions to them. I'll make sure that I include some links. In the next couple of days, I'll make sure we get links in there for the prequel for the story that everybody wrote together because that sounds so much fun. And is there anything else, ladies? I don't want to keep you too long. Oh my gosh!
I can't take it off.
See?
I did it again.
How do
I
we not have
can't take
fun
it
with this
off.
woman?
Oh,
Can you do that?
Good.
you are crazy.
There it goes. Okay.
Um,
He's a pirate.
one thing I was
Sorry.
going to say, Nikki, is just tell readers, and I do this for writers that I love too. The easiest thing, follow authors on Amazon. And they even, I've seen some authors, I'm going to start doing it, saying my Amazon store, because that way they'll catch the releases and they won't have to worry about when it's coming. Amazon will send them an email. They don't spam. They don't do anything else. But for any authors that you want to make sure you hit, you get their books.
Absolutely. Reader, want Wallflowers, make sure that you follow people on Amazon. Make sure you sign up for your authors newsletters. That is so critical because as authors, we don't own anything else. We don't own our social media space. So signing up for those newsletters is one of the things that we do own. So, that's how we can keep in touch with you. And with things always changing and publishing and the world changing and Amazon changing, make sure that you're signed up for author newsletters. And the other thing is make sure if you love those books, leave reviews because those are super important to authors. And I know reaching out to an author and telling them you love your book is always great. It's hard because we get so many spam in our emails that sometimes we don't know, but you can always try to reach out and let an author know that you love your book because that's what keeps us going. And this is our fans and our readers that like our books. So is there anything else, ladies, before I
Just thank you, Nikki, for
This has
having
been
us.
fun.
I really
Thank
appreciate
thank
it.
you. I
Thank you
have
so
to
much.
thank
Pleasure.
you so much. I get these crazy ideas. My ladies in the Wallflowers know they're probably those that are listening are probably laughing because I'm always like, hey, let's do this thing. And and so I just love when somebody goes along with one of my crazy ideas. Kathy and I were talking about like, how about if we do an interview? And meanwhile, as you guys all know, these guys all know, and the Wallflowers all know, I had no idea how to do an interview. I was just like, let's do it. And so I appreciate so much you supporting the Wallflowers.
You
And
mean you don't do this all the time? You're so good at it.
Yeah, you are.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Podcast is in your
Love it.
future, Nikki.
Love it.
You now have a new career.
Yes.
This is it.
So, but I appreciate you ladies. I can't wait to read the books out. And I will, of course, send you as much love as I can. So talk to you all later.
Thank you.
Have a good
Thank you.
night.
Thank you.
Night.
Good seeing everybody.
You too.
Guys.
We'll see you Sunday, right?